Stop smouldering, Darge. We're live. Good evening, everyone. This is the Arcadia Roundtable podcast. You might, if you're particularly astute and you're watching this on the video feed, notice that there's just the two of us today because Chris Grannell is snowed under and can't join us. Fortunately, it is a week that is absolutely jam-packed with massive news, so it'll be easy to keep the conversation flowing by. Darge.
Yes, mate.
How you been? How you been this week?
Yeah, I've been all right, mate. Yeah, we'll get on to what we've been doing, what we've been playing. I've been all right, though. Weather's gone a little bit pony. It's affected me livelihood. But, yeah, all good. Done a bit of streaming now, doing a bit of that. Just playing some games. Same old, mate. What about you? How's your week been?
Yeah, my week has been the best week that anyone's probably ever had. Nobody's week compares to mine. It's been amazing. Just, I'm not going to elaborate on what I've been doing this week at all. Just going to leave it at that and hope that people believe me that it's been brilliant. Yeah. Tell me about your streaming, because streaming is a thing some people might do themselves or might be interested in doing. How's that been for you?
Oh, I tried it in the past and stuff, but lately, because from when I tried it before, now I'm sort of actually beating games and enjoying whacking away at my backlog, playing games when they come out and stuff like that. And then obviously sometimes in our Discord we do it and stuff like that. So I thought, I'll just have a go at YouTube, just broadcasting there and stuff like that. Did the first one last night, going through God of War again. I say again, I nearly beat it on the PlayStation, never finished it. So, just started doing a bit of that. A few of the guys from the community just popped over, said hello. Did I can't even remember how long I did now, about an hour and a half, something like that. But it's just saying, you're going through games, just thought I'd give it a go. And it was all right. It was all right last night.
Sean Raff's just become, as your story was so endearing, Sean Raff is straight in with the membership there. So Sean, get on Discord, because that is where everything happens, and it is, I promise, a good time over there. If you do happen to use Discord whatsoever, get on there, link your YouTube account, and you'll see all that's going on. Gamsley is asking why he's not here with you, and he's asking if I don't know if he means I'm scared of a debate or you're scared of a debate, Gamsley. I'm scared of the debate, but actually I had
work with him.
Well, I refuse to work with him. I actually didn't know, because I don't pay attention well enough, because I've been busy streaming the original Final Fantasy VII. I didn't actually know until 8:05 that I didn't have Chris with me today. So it is what it is. We'll still have a good show, though. We've got plenty to talk about. Ask me about my streaming, Darge. Ask me about Final Fantasy VII. No, tell me about Final Fantasy VII, because you finished. One of your games that you finished this week was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, so I forgot about that, because when we spoke before going live about what we beat, I was like, I was only Hellblade 2. But no, yeah, I finished Hellblade 2 from last week's show. I'll talk about that without spoilers after. Went back to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I said in the Discord, got to about 80% of the way in, or close to there, and I wasn't burning out up until that point. But it's kind of like when I got there, I was kind of like, "Oh, come on!" Like, do you know what I mean? It was a little bit mundane, the sort of area that I was in. Anyway, got through that, and then from there on to the finale, it was brilliant. It was just non-stop, and obviously you get, without going to spoilers, you get to the Shinra HQ, and it starts ramping up from there, and yeah, I loved it. I tweeted out about it, and I just said, Square Enix is a really good retelling of a classic for the modern day era. You know what I mean? Obviously they changed up. It wasn't all turn-based. There was free-flowing combat, but obviously you were turn-based with your abilities and your spells and stuff like that, which was nice. A nice touch. I just see the chat. Oh, it's thrown me. But yeah, no, it was nice. It's a nice retell, just a really good remake. Obviously one of the things we might discuss later on is Silent Hill. Remakes. As long as you don't fuck around with the stories, the nostalgic, the reason the games were so great. You know what I mean? I think you're onto a winner. Resident Evil's proven that. You know, Dead Space has proven that, and Resident Evil 7 was sick. And you know, Gamsley said to me, I said once I'd finished 7, I was like, give me Rebirth now because I'm kind of ready to. And I know, like, I know it's a much bigger game, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But at that point, finishing 7, the way it ended, I was like, I'm ready to go again, and hopefully before this year's out, hopefully, maybe see it over on the PC. But yeah, really enjoyed. I mean, you tell me because obviously you've beaten it. Am I sort of in tune with you with regards to how well the remake was?
It's kind of funny that you said in there, as long as you don't fuck around with the story too much, then remakes can be really good. There are not many remakes that mess with the story as much as that Final Fantasy VII one does. In a way that I really enjoyed, but
Yeah.
you know, they make a point of it. They tie it into the story. The reason that they can deviate from the first one is contained within the game, and some people don't like that very much because, like, you know, they are being unfaithful to one of their precious beloved games. For me, I really freaking liked Remake. Absolutely, I like what they did with the way that they are addressing the fact that they want to tell a slightly different story. I'm about 50 hours into Rebirth as well. Currently, I've said before that that's like a love-hate one for me. Sometimes I'm absolutely loving it. Sometimes it's just like the best parts of Remake and you're having a great time. And then other times Chadley's ruining everything and sending you on little Ubisoft adventures. So the pacing is all over the place. It is absolutely packed with silly mini games, and it is just, like, it doesn't take itself remotely seriously, but in a way that you might find charming or you might find obnoxious.
Yeah.
Right now I'm finding it charming and I'm having a really good time with that one. But so much so, I heard you talking about Remake and decided, actually, because the way that Remake and Rebirth are telling their story, and it's quite cogent and like it's simple to follow. I played Final Fantasy VII the first time. It was the first PlayStation game I ever played. It was the one that got me onto the system in the first place. And I look back like at how I remember it, and it's not the story that I remember particularly fondly. There's like, it has its key moments that I remember very fondly, but the narrative from start to finish, there's big parts of it are just like haze in my brain because I didn't follow them in because I was busy grinding and hunting for weapons and all the rest of it. So I decided I'm going to go back to there and I'm going to play Remake as well. So I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII and Remake and Rebirth kind of vaguely in tandem to see them through. 7 Classic, I only played it for like an hour and a half today before this. On my Gamsy, your super chat, Darge read it, so you've hit him once, you've hurt him with it. Give it 10 minutes or so and I'll read it again, then you get double the value for it, right? Because it will hurt him twice. So just hold on to that. I haven't missed it.
Don't hurt me. It don't hurt me. It's just it's a shame. You know, I expected better from this community, you know, to have it pop at me all the time. But, you know, I see how it is.
It does hurt. So Gabsy just super chatted to say that you look tired, Darge. And you were getting this last week and you were getting a little bit sensitive, and I understand because Chronic comes and says it to me. I usually do look tired as well. He's not wrong. And it does, it gets to you. It makes you go, I'm not here to look awake.
Just hard working. We're just hard working geezers. This is what hard working people look like. They look a little bit tired. You know, you layabouts, you know, Gamsley included, you know, looks all young, fresh, you know. Once he grows up a bit, what is he, like 14, isn't he, or something? Once he grows up a bit, he'll be all right.
You're frozen. Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I had a. Yeah, did you hear what I said though? Yeah.
Yeah, all came through. All came through well. So, yeah, no, the Final Fantasy VII. The thing that does stand out with it being as ancient as it is, I played a few ancient games. I played some Saturn ones that didn't scale up very nicely at all and don't look appealing on a big TV. Final Fantasy VII, like, obviously it still looks ancient and crusty, but it is fine. It's enjoyable enough. But the sound. The music is like presumably CD quality sound because it came on CDs and it sounds good when the music is going. I was loving the opening to the game. But the sound effects that go, it's a shame that Chris isn't here because I was hoping he could explain how PlayStation 1 sound was kind of like functioning in terms of the engineering behind it, because the sound effects themselves are ear pain.
Yeah. Nails on chalkboard, yeah.
Nails on chalkboard, but not necessarily on purpose. Just everything is just that really like low, nasty quality that pierces your ears. Game's brilliant though. I'm loving it, and I'm going to carry on playing it.
Oh, good. So you're streaming that, yeah? On you got another channel?
Yeah, so the Asa Games channel is where I'm streaming it. I go through phases of streaming loads and loads and loads, and a lot of what we have like on this Gaming Arcadia channel that people are on and watching our podcast on now. Before it was Gaming Arcadia, it was where I streamed. So a lot of the people that are subscribed to this channel might find it a little bit odd that I've moved over, but I don't want to totally overcrowd and clutter all the podcasts and reviews and things. I want people to know what kind of content you're getting over here, and then when I'm just doing my own nonsense, the games from ancient past and distant future, when I get the VR headset on, those happen on my little side channel. So if you aren't subscribed over there and you want to watch some of those, be it old Final Fantasy or future virtual reality stuff or anything in between, do that as well. Tell me more though, because I've also played a little bit of virtual reality, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And I know you love the VR, so you're not going to have any objections to that. But tell me more, because last week we were here, we talked a bit about Hellblade 2, right? It came out on the day that we did the podcast last week. And you were at that moment in time enjoying it more than me. I've come around to it in a lot of ways. There's a lot of things that I did enjoy about it, but you've finished it now. What's your takeaway? How deeply moved are you?
So obviously, since we've done the show, obviously in certain corners of the media and social media and stuff like that, you've seen it's been quite a conflicting topic. For me, I'm absolutely fine with the game. Like, first and foremostly, shorter experience things. Like I've recently done Indica, which is shorter than Hellblade. I was absolutely fine with it, and also because like the because of the production value of like the graphics and the scenery and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It could you can tiptoe a line of going too long. Do you know what I mean? And then you can go too long, and then it gets a chore. You know what I mean? And for me, I think it was perfectly paced. It was beautiful looking game. Story, obviously, I've been meaning to talk to you, obviously, since you finished it, so we could openly talk about the game and what we felt about it. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously I see your review and that, and obviously I feel a little bit differently, but it's fine. You know what I mean? But I loved it. You know what I mean? And I seriously, like, regardless of the noise and the people who thought it was going to be a God of War clone on the Xbox side, and all the other business. Like, for me, I think it was a 9 3/4 hour playthrough. That I had without fully completing all the sort of puzzly, like the rock face sort of hidden puzzles and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Yeah, absolutely fine. Loved it. Again, it's not like
So
high top end price wise, so they priced accordingly to the experience. I don't get the gripe
that's
with
my
it.
question, actually, because you mentioned that the length of it was fine. You played it for your 9 hours or whatever, and it wasn't too long, it wasn't too short. You were about right with that, but you presumably played it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
So
I won't. Yeah, go on.
I don't. You know how I am with value. Like, I never want to dictate to other people what's good and what isn't good value, because everyone's circumstances are different and all the rest of it. But for you, if you had paid 50 quid for it, would you still be saying that the length was okay, or would that be a bit off?
I would. I probably would have been okay with it. Reason being is obviously I still have the other playthroughs to go with the different duration. Again, even though a one run in that game theoretically is, you're seeing all sorts of numbers out there, 5 hours. Me 9 3/4. I've seen some people in the double digits. But then there is, because the way the story is told, there's a game that's never made me want a second run, like that one has. I know I haven't yet, but I will get back to it because I want to hear the different perspectives of the story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're going to get. And I don't think playing that game again to be a chore. It's absolutely fucking beautiful, like, game to look at. It's stunning. And it's not like, the combat. Obviously, the Digital Foundry stuff come out, and they're talking about like the actual animations when you're sword fighting, like the level of detail and everything that Ninja Theory have gone to. But at the end of the day, it's each to their own. But for me, 50 quid, I'll put it this way, yeah. I might, I ain't just
Right.
trolling either, but I'm contemplating getting rid of Game Pass purely and simply for the reason of the shadow play does not work with it. Yeah, it's just a menace. It does my nut in when I'm playing a game through Game Pass. It just drives me crazy. So I may well get rid of it and just start buying those games from now on. But you know, that's either here nor there. If I'd have paid 50 quid for it, I'd have been fine with it. I mean, what was Indica? I think it was like under a score, something like that, and that's just a one run,
I
and
don't know
you've
what that
got
is.
no 20 quid. So you got like no, I forget. You got no. It's a UE5 game, but I mean, if you look at the two of them together, it's fucking night and day. You know, like I want to replay it as well on the OLED, like with all that HDR, because there's certain areas, excuse me, of that game when you're going through that you just know, even me as a colorblind person, I will appreciate
Mhm.
more the HDR OLED imagery. Like, you know, so I think at the end of the day, in the industry with the way it is today, people complaining about high costs, you know, this, that, and the other. That game being that price, obviously it's an opinionated thing, but I'm absolutely okay with it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was fine. I'll take another one of them. You know what I mean? If they say in 4 or 5 years' time, because obviously they've done a lot of changes at the studio, built out the mocap facility and all this gear. Now, if they can bang another game out in the next sort of 4 years, and they go, right, it's, a follow up to this or something else in this universe or a completely different IP, you know, I'll be okay with that. Absolutely.
So you said something awful in there. You said you
Go on.
disagreed with some part of my review. I know we can't give spoilers, but
It's not a
elaborate.
disagreement. It's not a disagreement. It's just
You're allowed
your
to.
takeaway. Obviously, I think I'd put more time in the game than you have, and I think once, obviously, you'd finished the game by the time you'd reviewed it, but I felt differently to you. Do you know what I mean? To how you felt, and that's why I said to you, like, I'd like to talk to you, not to change your mind, but just to have an open discussion. Like, obviously, you've seen it in our Discord. Like, Gamsley's done it, I've done it. You know, a few others, Chronic. You know, Tony. We've all done it, but we're all staying cagey about openly talking about it because of the other people that are in there. But I think it would be it's one of those stories and games where, like I said to you before, you know, like IndyCar, when it finishes, you're asking questions and you want to talk to the next person and go, "What did you think?" And you start a conversation about it. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I wanted to talk to you. So it wasn't. I was more surprised at with your review because of the stance that you had. But like you said, it's grown on you a little bit. It hasn't really changed anything, but it's grown on you a little bit. But it's just a conversation, like, do you know what I mean? It's not me like fucking getting you on the shoulder, changing your mind, like, you know what I mean?
I'm just curious, like, because like very, very high level in that review, putting it relative to Hellblade 1, I said it's better in every way, except that the story doesn't move me as much as the first one. Is that the bit that you disagree with? Did it move you more?
No. It's sort of, yeah, but we can't really openly discuss this, like, in case there's people here who still yet to play it. But I think when you go from the story of the first game and the whole scenario and the journey she goes on, yeah, that's like fucking big time. Yeah, that's like some big serious stuff. Yeah, and not to say this game's not serious, but it's the next part of her journey. So she started high. Yeah, you get me. And now she's doing what she's doing in this game. So obviously, when you look back at the first one and go, well, the first one hit me a bit differently, but I think it will. That first story does hit differently. I said in the Discord, like, the story of the first one is powerful. Do you know what I mean? The story of this one is powerful, but if you're going to compare the two, like, I'll always go number one. Do you know what I mean? So I sort of agree with you to that point, but obviously it's just part of her journey. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'll forgive the game, the story, because it does make sense following on from the first game. Do you know what I mean? So it's more like, listen, we're on my hands are tied. I can't really openly talk. You know what I mean? Unless I start ruining it. But yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, we'll have a chat about it.
Patrick is asking when you're going to use the upgraded camera. Patrick, the camera was all set up. We trialed it. It made Darge look a bit more tired, so we put it back in the box.
It made me look younger. Too young. So Asa said, get rid of it.
Yeah, no, that'll be there for next week, I'm sure. All right. What is your camera, Darge? Where's it gone?
I stand here, mate. I've done a classic, didn't I? I got the camera, got it all ready to go, set up USB, and I didn't get a bracket for the monitor. So I thought, am I going to really risk switching my old Logitech upside down balancing this camera on there freestanding. I thought, no, I'll give it a week. So yeah, you'll have to wait for a week for full HD scaly forehead. But yeah, something to come back for next week.
Well, I'm going to talk about your favorite thing then. So we got that coming. VR. I've been off of the VR for too long. I'm supposed to be a VR guy because I love the technology and everybody knows that I do. I talk about it too much and people get upset. But this week I've gone back onto it. I was playing Arizona Sunshine 2 for the last couple of days on 2 different sessions. For those that don't know, I've got a ridiculous like treadmill set up so I can run around in these games and live my best life in there, shooting all the zombies and stuff. And I really regretted today that I wasn't streaming it because I was on this mission on Arizona Sunshine 2, which if you don't know is you just have zombies basically is the premise. It's set in Arizona. There's lots of desert, there's lots of zombies and all the rest of it. But I spent yesterday trying to free up a train so that I could get on a train and ride to wherever my destination is. Today was the train ride, and it starts you at the back of the train, having to work your way back to the front of it before it all goes wrong. And I was having a brilliant time because there's parts of it where you have to get on the outside of the train and like scale the edge. And I was by a train window. There were zombies on the inside. I got a revolver in my right hand. I'm holding for dear life onto the train with my left hand, and I shoot these zombies. Like I've got 6 of them, and then I'm like, oh, this is a VR only problem. How am I going to reload a revolver whilst holding onto a train with my left hand?
What did you do?
There's no way to do it. I was just stuck. I had to get in the train and reload while I was there. But just a funny little moment, difference in control schemes. There's no just, hit X or square to reload. I'm stuck just hanging from a train with one gun in my hand going, oh, this is a problem I didn't expect.
No one's ready for VR yet. They haven't
There will be, Darge.
It's
brilliant. It's so good. Can't recommend it strongly enough to people that tried it when it came out in like 2017 or whatever, and all the graphics were too blurry and whatever else. The new ones with the new lenses and screens are so much better than they used to be. So if you get an opportunity to try it somewhere, I still love it. But we're here to celebrate Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We will talk about it. There aren't a whole heap of topics to talk about today, so that one's definitely going to come in. In fact, Darge.
Yeah, mate.
What else have I played this week? Are there any other things to question on that? Or should we go straight into...
You've done the community, but that was just Forza Halo again, yeah?
We actually did not just Forza and Halo, because we did the Saturday one as well, which was... So every Sunday, and at the moment some Saturdays as well, we do community streams, and there's some typical games that sit in the rotation, which are Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5 and Forza Motorsport, just keep on coming back because they're on Game Pass. Everybody has access to them, and it's really easy to get a big bunch of players in and play. And this week, though, we introduced the finals. So Baz Cryptkeeper has been asking for, since it came out, to play the finals. And we did. Have you ever played it, Darge?
I have. I've done a bit of it with Baz as well. Like it's all right. I know that. Go on. You're going to say. Go on, mate.
I want to know your opinion of it.
No. I was going to say I didn't mind it, but obviously when we done it with Baz, it was 3v3, and then what I went to say is obviously because you used it for a community one, they've expanded the playlist, right? So is it 5v5 now, or is it?
We had some 5v5, yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. I don't mind it. I thought it was okay.
It's funny because it is so damn impressive. Like, it's so impressive for a multiplayer game. The way that everything just explodes around you, the destruction is really cool. But the gunplay feels kind of iffy to me, and the structure, the progression, and pay to win like setup takes so much away from it.
They're ex-Dice devs, and they that made the game, ex-Battlefield devs, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've got so much right. It's visually, it's really nice for the amount of stuff that's going on. It's just that like Baz had been playing it all the time, and he was running around with his flamethrower and his shields that he could pop up, and we just had this basic ass gun with no option to change. That just felt awful, and it just feels like such a pay to win experience from the get go. And I don't begrudge it. Like, the game is free, so I don't begrudge them trying to make money. They've got to make money somehow. But it was just such an off-putting entry experience that they don't get any. I'm not going to stay to buy the cosmetics because the thing just isn't level to begin with. I do like watching buildings falling over. So
it's got good it's got brilliant destruction in it, like really good.
Connor's asking about Hunt Showdown. Connor, Hunt Showdown's not a Saturday, Sunday game because we have too many people. Hunt Showdown would have to be a different day of the week. And that can definitely happen. Replicant's talking about X Defiant being off to a great start. It's weird. So X Defiant is Ubisoft's Call of Duty, like slight elements of Overwatch. Like it's a hero shooter Call of Duty game that visually, style-wise, very much Call of Duty, but it's supposedly done really well. It's had like 700,000 concurrent players, millions of people trying it. It is a free-to-play one, so it can happen at launch. But I've only seen negative feedback on it. I've never seen a single person come away. And I think Ant said that it was all right in the Discord.
He had a mare. I think he was having a mare getting in a lobby when it at the start because obviously it got flooded. I haven't seen too much about it, but in saying that, today I see VGC had reviewed it and they gave it a 4 out of 5 and said like this game is more than just a Call of Duty clone. Which intrigued me a little bit, like to kind of find out more about it. But yeah, I mean, see what happens, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know how quick these things can catch a light sometimes. So see what happens with it. I mean, like you got what's Rainbow Six Siege, Warzone. There's a lot of competition in the shooter space. You know what I mean? Like even saying about finals. And then you got Battlefield. It's quite a saturated market, so it'll have to do some pretty unique things to kind of capture an audience, So let's see how it goes. Like what? So what did it launch on Friday?
Tuesday, I think, same day as Hellblade.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting actually that you mentioned Siege, because there are massive games that I don't hear much feedback from. Like they have big communities behind them. So Rainbow Six Siege is one of them. Counter-Strike 2 is obviously another one. And I don't hear that much from the Call of Duty community either, to be fair. So it could be that there is like a massive movement of people that love this game. Has anybody here in chat actually played it and enjoyed it? Flush is saying that he's watched a fair amount of it and it seemed decent. Loop's asking about it, but... And Replicant is commenting. It's what sparked this conversation. Is just mentioned that it is off to a great start. But has anyone played it? Is anyone able to give us some feedback on it? Because it doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. Same as Call of Duty doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. Let's talk about that.
Yay!
Darge, we already kind of knew. It had already been confirmed through executive words and all the rest of it, but not directly pushed out through an official marketing beat. Today, a Game Pass push notification went out to various people's phones, and then the Xbox blog, Xbox Wire, whatever they call it, officially confirmed that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming day one to Game Pass. Are you excited?
I mean, there was a big old fucking convo going on earlier in the Discord surrounding it all, the business side of things. But like, obviously, Sean Raff, who's just joined up with us, and Crypt, who's in the chat. Like, these are boys of mine from back in the day. Like, that's when all we used to play was Call of Duty. And I was saying, like, the weight of Call of Duty isn't as prevalent, in my opinion, as someone who used to play it fucking religiously daily. Warzone is sort of the free-to-play model. Listen, this is a big deal, like it going into Game Pass day one. But when you're still selling it elsewhere, and the PC side of things, obviously, it'd be interesting to see what it does with PC Game Pass. It'd be interesting to see if there's people that don't buy it on Steam or Battle.net and get more Game Pass subs through PC. I could maybe see that. But like I say, with the console side of things, PlayStation owners with a digital library are already still getting the game. Can't see them jumping ship for the sake of saving 70 quid. So, yeah, but it's coming. So I guess it's like a win for Xbox people, but it's funny because the loudest people I see who are Xbox guys bigging it up and shouting from the rooftops that they got it. They don't even play Call of Duty. It's just like, it's jokes. These people don't even play games, So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. Listen, as for me, like the only one that I still actually own is 2019 Modern Warfare. I still maintain that's probably the best recent one, in my opinion. It was brilliant. I still own that now, but I haven't bothered with any of the others after then. And with this one now, I might install it. But in regards to, it retaining me to stay in the service for a year just because of one game, it won't happen for me. So it'd be interesting to see what it does. Obviously, we've said on this show, Feels like not just around Call of Duty, but any game that goes into Game Pass, it's like the needle has to swing. You know, for big Microsoft, they want to see results, right? So if they've said, "Look, fuck it, let's bomb this in and see what happens," and
Mhm.
I'm really intrigued now that they've come out and said, because I know, like you said, that they've come out publicly and said Call of Duty's going, and I said, well, they could get tricky with their wording and this, that, and the other. To see that they've actually come out now and said, right, it's definitely going in there. Now I'll be watching, like, to see if Game Pass goes boom like that, and if people still start deserting their digital libraries on other console platforms, or even if Game Pass subs just come up because they want to do it on the desktop cloud side of things, for example. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck it. I'll keep my PlayStation, but I'll get that Game Pass sub. I've got good internet. I'll just go on my browser and xCloud the game. You know, there's a lot of
Mhm.
possibilities for Xbox, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? You know.
Yeah, there is. So obviously, in terms of people like leaving their digital libraries and swaying across and all the rest of it, there is a massive segment of people, particularly like Xbox console owners, that also own a PlayStation as well. So it could at least sway those ones over, if not the rest. It could at least get some people onto Game Pass that weren't prior. So you'd have to think. I don't know what Microsoft's expectations are. You know, they'll have them. You know, they've been sitting there looking at all kinds of spreadsheets, figuring out what they think is going to happen and where. And they've already come out and said, well, we've heard an awful lot of talk about the calculations into how much they'll lose out on sales by doing this, and that it is a materially significant amount. But is their long-term strategy? They are going to do it. For me, I haven't played a Call of Duty game like in earnest properly since the one that came out when the 360 launched. Call of Duty 2, whatever it was, World War 2. Long time ago, and it was a good 1,000 achievement points. It was a brilliant game. But I don't, like, even back then I wasn't typically into war games and camouflage. It just doesn't work for me. But
Yeah.
I've always had this kind of inkling that I might enjoy the campaigns, like short bursts, usually 4 to 6 hours by reputation, and not worth the amount that they charge for it. But if I had the time and the space, then I'd give those a blast. So this one, realistically, there'll probably be some other games that come into Game Pass before this one comes out. That aside, though, this will be the first one that I actually have a proper go at. And I'm mostly interested in the campaign still. I'm going to have a blast through the campaign, but it's going to do like Forza Motorsport and all the rest of them. It's going to be there for so many people that people are going to insist that I play it on multiplayer. So it'll come up on our community streams, and it'll get at least us lot having a play that might have not done otherwise, right?
We got, like, that's the other thing I was just gonna say. Like, there's a lot of people. I mean, obviously, for me back in the day, Call of Duty was like you'd unwrap that new game, stick that in the drive, and you was fucking straight on multiplayer. Like, the campaign was like on a rainy fucking Sunday afternoon. You know what I mean? You think, oh, we'll have a go. You know, but it was like multiplayer, start ranking. You know, but with regards to the Game Pass effect to this game, there could be a lot of people who do just play Call of Duty for the campaigns and not really the multiplayer aspect. So then you fall back into the people who uptick the sub for the month, smash the game out, and then come out the sub. You know, like this mentality of Call of Duty's day one in Game Pass, you're going to retain your user base. Like, I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. That's why, like I say, I'll be interested to see how it happens. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I ain't anti Game Pass, you know, to a degree. You know, if you're getting that one monthly payment, and you know, after the summer showcase that we got coming up in a couple of weeks, if they announce a load more projects and dates for stuff coming, and they start getting a pipeline, it 100% could be like the best. It's already a really good value proposition, like, you know what I mean. So it could be really good, but yeah, I guess let's just wait and see when this one drops in and see what happens from it. You know.
Call of Duty is a weird one as well, because it's a behemoth in terms of making money, and that goes beyond it selling as many copies as it does, because the multiplayer just keeps on making money. It's got all of its microtransactions and all the rest of it. Do you think any of that is going to get more egregious or worse now that it's in Game Pass? Do you think they'll be trying to claw back?
The thing is, with the money, like money, you know, like, people keep disregarding, like, you know, Warzone. The reason the multiplayer for me is not as good as it used to be, and it's not on a design level, it's just because of a popularization level, it's because of Warzone. Yeah. So because there's a free to play Warzone model, some of the hardcore multiplayer, like 6v6 players, went into Warzone, right? So then there's less people playing the multiplayer side of thing. Warzone's free to play. Warzone's free to anyone. That's got nothing to do with Game Pass. You get me? So when you say about microtransactions and the money and, they're just cash cowing, like, boom, 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 Warzone's making a lot of money, And it's not to say that Call of Duty isn't Black Ops 6 1, yeah? But, like, to go, we got a big W because that's dropping in the service. Like, Microsoft, you say, like, they'll have projections. They will go. It's not a case of we expect. They will go, we want to see. Yeah, like, we need to see this amount. And if this don't happen, then we've got to reevaluate, right? So, like, Warzone's free to play for everyone. There could be people who just say, like, on the PlayStation side of things, Black Ops 6 is day one in Game Pass. Yeah, fuck Black Ops 6. I'll just stay on Warzone because it's free, So it's not like, I'm really interested to see how it lands. Like, I'll sit here and fucking, you know what I mean? Eat my hat, like, if it fucking just propels off mental and stuff like that. But I'm just a little bit dubious about it, But happy days,
The Gaming Crypt has become a badger. I signed up for a membership, so welcome Gaming Crypt. Like I always say, get on the Discord. You don't have to. It's not like compulsory. We're going to shun you if you don't, but the Discord is a good place to be. So if you can tolerate the software at all, get on there, join our little community, talk to us through there. That's Call of Duty. I've not really got a whole heap else to say to that because I'm not a big Call of Duty guy. It'll be interesting to see how it develops, but maybe I'll become a massive Call of Duty guy now that it's going to be thrust into my lap and I'm going to be forced to play it by other people. And all games are more fun with other people, right? When you're having a good time with friends, then changes everything. Let's talk about then. What's our next topic, Darge?
Hey, you tell me because you're the governor.
PlayStation.
I'll just
Days of Play.
Go on then.
So Days of Play is it's an annual event. It's just a marketing sales event. Usually they try and encourage you to spend some of your money, which is fairly standard in corporate world.
Right. Exactly.
This one has a couple of like notable features though. They're promising that it's going to be an extra packed month in PlayStation Plus, but to that end, for the first time really, they're including some dedicated PlayStation VR 2 titles in PlayStation Plus, and some PlayStation 2 games. So PlayStation VR 2 as in VR headset and PlayStation 2 as in across the old console. Expanding the offering within their subscription without putting Call of Duty in it or something wild like that.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Is it interesting? Is it good?
I mean, I'm like, I'm looking at it. I looked at it earlier. I see, like, obviously it was going about on Twitter, and I don't own the PlayStation console, right? So it's not really, something I'm overly interested in. But I had a little look, and yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot fucking whetting my appetite there, like making me want to go and get a console, I see like they promoted their PS Plus within the Days of Play, like, going, oh yeah, we're still going to give you games this month. And it's like, yeah, well, ain't that kind of how it works? Like, But I see the VR thing. Obviously, as you know, I'm not a big VR person, but I think there was like 6 games in it. I think there was like 6 VR titles that they're going to go. I mean, obviously, no offense to you, like, but PSVR
I'm not a
2
VR
ain't
headset,
quite
Darge,
doing...
it's fine.
I was going to say, but like, no, but I'm saying like PSVR 2 is not doing what they wanted it to do. So them dishing out games, trying to build a little bit of that up kind of makes sense, right? And then, what was the other stuff in here? It's just like discounts, right? It's just like $20 off Spider-Man 2, like just to say. So it's like, without being like pessimistic and obviously not being like an Xbox fanboy or anything like that, Days of Play just sounds like a standard month on a platform, right? You're going to get your sales, you're going to get your freebies, and that's it, right? But I mean, that's the way I'm seeing it. But obviously, you tell me from your perspective, mate.
To be honest, across all of the platforms, you get pretty good sales events that are well worth like doing your shopping in if you can, particularly for things like single player games. You always have this like FOMO when a big single player game comes out, like a Dragon's Dogma 2 or something like that, where you feel like you have to play it when everybody else is to be involved in the conversation and all the rest of it. Spider-Man 2 is another good example, but these games typically they definitely don't get worse if you wait until they hit one of these events. They definitely don't get worse over time, and arguably they can get quite a bit better depending on the state that they launch in, like as they polish off all the bugs and things. So actually there's opportunity for people to get things at a better price and play them when they want to. For me though, you get so used to sales across all of the platforms. Xbox has their own events, PlayStation have numerous other events, and Steam obviously has loads of sales all the time. There's never a point in time where there are not sales on these platforms, so it's not a big deal. The thing that stands out as more interesting is obviously this weird half push on VR. The way that Sony have or have not pushed it. They have, I don't know about UK side, but I know they've got the VR bundles. The hardware itself in the States is $100 off, which is a significant discount, and it's the first like notable push from them. But it's come after the point where everyone kind of perceives that they've given up on it. And it's really difficult to, like, even at $100 off, to suggest people go and buy it and support this headset and build it into a viable ecosystem when Sony themselves have shut down all of their VR studios and sent such a negative message around it before this discount. Yeah. I'd love to be able to tell people. I mean, those games that they put in there, they've got the Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners games. They're both so freaking good. They're so freaking good. They really are.
Yeah,
you can kill zombies with spoons.
I know. I was going to just try and say, like, obviously I don't do VR, right? But obviously Alex, Half-Life, I know that one. Do you know what I mean? And and then Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners is another that I hear about a lot in the VR space. So I know they're like well regarded. But what do you reckon? Like with these giveaway games and all that, can you see a PSVR 3 coming anytime in the next generation?
I wish that I could, but no. Like they closed all their VR studios, so
it's like they've given up on it, and now you're back.
Yeah, and I obviously I'm glad that they tried it for the first one and the second one, even though they weren't successful. I wish that they had just held on a little bit longer with 2. It probably would have been a mistake. It probably would have just been burning money. But to put what is really good hardware out, the PlayStation VR 2 is a good VR headset. To put it out there and then not support it at all because Horizon, whatever it's called, Call of the Mountain, didn't get the response that they wanted. Like, you tried one thing. Do some more. You've got all of these IPs, stick some of them on there.
I just it just sort of screams there was like little confidence in it from the get-go, right? You know, if you're only having one crack at it and then going, actually, let's fucking wipe our mouth with this, it probably ain't worth it. Because like they said, they were sitting on a lot of stock still of headsets and stuff like that. So they took the gamble for it to take off. And then very quickly went, actually, fucking loot. What was it? Has there ever been any update with guys? Go on, mate.
The big problem for me is they released Horizon Call of the Mountain, and pretty much unanimously people complained that it was too short for the price.
Yeah.
And that, like, I'm not saying people are wrong. They're consumers. We're consumers. We're going to have our feedback. We're going to say what we think of something's value. But that immediately makes making a VR game completely non-viable. Because the only way to make it bigger is to up the budget, and there's not enough people to buy a game. So I think they looked at that and went, well, it came with the headset, or it was like, I don't know, 50 quid or something. But people were comparing it because it's in the Horizon universe, right? It's a Horizon game, and they looked at it and went, well, this is like a linear 8-hour snooze fest compared to a 100-hour Horizon Forbidden West or whatever. Like, we wanted the 100-hour. Why haven't you given us the full game? And I don't know, it told them, sent a very clear message: you don't make VR games, people won't buy them. So
and it's hard though, right? Because like 100-hour, Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West, sitting, as you say, pancake, is fine. 100-hour VR game, having to be immersed in that. Like I say, I don't really know VR games. Is there any, VR games that are 100 hours? Story-wise?
You can do things like No Man's Sky and stuff like that. Like, you can play normal pancake games, but dedicated VR ones like that long, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So you kind of would expect that to be a shorter experience. So to complain about the length, if you're telling me that it's 8 hours, it's almost a Hellblade 2 in VR. You know what I mean? So a little bit. What it's like we always want a bit more. You know what I mean? Like, you give me 8 hours, I expected 10. I expected 12. You know what I mean? But you got what you're given. But like I say, very quickly, like you say, when they got all that back, they just went off it goes, and that's it. But what I was going to ask you before you said about Horizon and that, was there ever any update with the VR2 PC compatibility? Did they? Because you remember that
No,
was
so
like
they came out and said officially we're trying, right? It was in just a note in the blog post to say we're going to try and make that work, which means presumably they'll be able to. Like you'd think they'd know the capabilities at that point in time, but no, there's not been any further updates on when that might happen or what it's going to look like. But,
that's all I wanted to ask.
Tell me about what PlayStation have been saying about AI, because this was a topic that you wanted to bring up.
Is it PlayStation saying this or Neil Druckmann? I think it was Neil Druckmann when he was saying about AI.
Through the PlayStation blog though, right?
Yeah, it was, well, you know, if you want to discuss all of the Neil Druckmann stroke fucking blog post, there was a lot of miscommunication for it, right? But yeah, I think basically him and them were saying that AI is going to help create more like immersive stories and stuff like that. Basically, it was just a big AI big up. You know what I mean? Like as if to say AI is going to be our friend going forward. It's going to help us, you know, go further beyond, you know, the handwritten story, you know, or just a single-minded story, you know. And I know there's like a lot of kickback with the whole AI in general, like, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's inevitable, right? It's like we've kind of said about this, right? Everyone, you know, you're all quick enough to run, not you personally, but I'm saying like certain people, quick enough to run to fucking what's it called, Mid-Journey, isn't it, or whatever that one is on the Discord, and quickly get a Photoshop of a fat guy crying with a Sony hat on, like for memes. You know what I mean? So AI is your friend there, but then when AI, so because it's your friend to get your image or your thumbnail or your fucking meme or whatever you want. Yeah, AI is cool. You know what I mean? And then it's like AI, we're going to use AI to help us get your games developed. Yeah, maybe get them developed a bit quicker. And it's like, whoa, hang on. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's a bit Jekyll. But yeah, like I say, AI is inevitable, right? Like it's kind of like everyone's using it, you know, and then also like, you know, could they be using it without telling us they're using it? And then, you know, imagine that. Imagine they did something with AI and then put it in the hands of people and everyone going, you can imagine it now, right? Because you can imagine someone playing it and going, oh, you can tell that this was written with love, you know, by someone who's been through shit. You know what I mean? You just don't know. And that's not me before anyone starts going, oh, fucking Darge wants people to lose their jobs. I don't want people to lose their jobs. You know what I mean? But AI is still like kind of in an infancy stage, right? Like it's still, you know, we'll see. It's inevitable that it's going to get used everywhere going forward, right? So I'm not, you know, whatever. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a prick, you know what I mean? Because I do kind of sound like a prick, but ultimately, it's going to end up everywhere soon enough. You know what I mean? Like if you want to write an apology letter, you know, to fucking, I don't know who, but you can go to, you know, Copilot or something like that and go, oh, type me a really sincere letter, you know, of apology to my missus that I stayed out on the piss all night. And it'll go, boop, 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 and it's done. It saved you all the work. You know what I mean? So you choose when it's your friend and then you choose when it's your enemy. You know what I mean? But the fact remains, it's here now. You know, judgment day will be soon.
Yeah, and it is like it's unfortunate timing to start talking about this as he did, like with the backdrop being loads of people losing their jobs all around him. So you can understand. You can understand why there'd be a pushback and a negative response on hearing that at this point in time while the industry is doing what it's doing. If it was on an upswing and people were being given jobs all over the place and it was just the positives being seen, then it probably would have been a better received message. But yeah, weird one.
Yeah.
What else has he said, Darge? I've not got a whole heap to add on the AI one. I don't disagree with you.
I've got nothing really else to say on the AI. Listen, you know, obviously Microsoft, was it last week where they did the Minecraft AI thing? Was it last week they did that demo? And it's like, I don't fully remember what I was seeing. Was it the AI that was communicating with the player or something?
So the Minecraft demo that Microsoft did was the natural language, ChatGPT natural language or whatever, not ChatGPT, whatever their one is called, Copilot natural language, so that you could talk at the game to get help with it or whatever, like ask how you do certain things in Minecraft or find items in your inventory and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the possibilities with it is endless. Like, you know what I mean? So there's going to be like benefits of it, you know, and then there's going to be negatives of it.
I reckon what doesn't help for a lot of people is that the term AI is used so broadly to cover so many things as well. Because there's you have AI like generative AI that is doing work you might have expected an artist to do and whatever. There is a lot around there, but I think a lot of people get confused. They hear AI and they think of the elites in Halo and just assume that it's trying to kill them. Right? And I don't mean that literally, because obviously we use AI very differently in the video game space, but you do literally get people that are confused those things and just like, oh, artificial intelligence, yeah, I've been playing against them in computer games forever. Now they're like making games for me, and they just convolute them as being the same thing when clearly they're not. But there are many other facets of it, like the natural language one, Copilot talking to Minecraft. That is a very, very different thing to being like, generate a poster to stick on the wall in this game. So yeah, there's a lot of facets to it, and probably all of them are gonna end up with us being dead. So next thing, Darge, Sony. Again, this is one that you pointed out to me. They've said something about they think the next like frontier of game progress is not going to be visuals and graphics, but rather it's going to be immersive storytelling. Is that right?
Yeah, I think did this come from that that event that I got excited about for fucking Day and Date PC, and it weren't that, but I think they were saying about
that
like
one,
in the video. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, the one everyone got up for and then pretended they didn't watch. But yeah, so I think basically what they were saying on the video game side of things is they're gonna not just they're going to do this, but also they believe the industry is going to go the way of less graphical fidelity and more prioritizing the immersive story. The narratives behind it, which, funnily enough, kind of sounds a bit like Hellblade 2. But also Hellblade 2 had the graphics as well as the story. But anyway, I ain't going to get into an argument with you about that. But yeah, so I mean, less graphical. I mean, I don't really know what to read into that. You know what I mean? Because Sony have always, as far as I'm concerned, especially in the PS4, they've always had a quality control like for first party standard with their games. So if they're coming out and going, oh, we're going to prioritize the stories, because I don't think the stories have been too bad up until this point, right? I mean, it's subjective and whatever, but for them to come out and go, no, we're going to focus more on the stories, or not more. It's like basically what they're saying is the story is more important than the overall look of the game. You know what I mean? And it's just weird that they'd come out with that, because, as I say, I'm going through God of War now. I've done Spider-Man. I've done loads of them. You know what I mean? Last of Us. Story-wise, I've played a lot worse story-wise than these. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing to come out with. But then, like I say, obviously they've spoken about AI in the same breath. So is it kind of like them going, oh yeah, we're going to concentrate on this thing. Oh, and we're bringing AI into the conversation. You know what I mean? So I don't really know what to make of it all. To be fair, we are, but I'm sure their games. I'm sure their games going forward are just not going to look shit. You know what I mean?
Assuming they've got any, eh? They've got to tell us about them at some point, right?
Well, they got Death Stranding. That's what I care about.
Coming.
I mean, we don't really do rumours on here, but I mean, it was a long thing that they were going to have a state of play before this month's end, and I mean, they've only got fucking 3 days, so they've got that Concord. I can't even remember anything about that.
Concord is supposed to be this year. Yeah, Death Stranding 2 is obviously Hideo's game, but yeah, it is coming.
Marathon next year. So you got Death Stranding 2 Marathon next year, and then whatever else.
And they'll count Destiny's expansion will count as a big release as well, I'm sure. But it's just, for well that they've got more in the works that they haven't whispered anything about yet. And obviously there's the stuff from the Insomniac leaks, but besides that, they've got a lot of studios, so hopefully we'll hear a little bit soon so we can start talking about it. I had one other thing, and it's just started to leak out of my ear. People that are here watching us, talking to us at the moment, please do drop some questions in, because we haven't got a whole lot of topics today. We are getting to the end of them, and we'll be on those questions in a moment. Gaming Crypt has said the biggest news of the week is Darge is dropping Game Pass, something he made hundreds of people buy on the Series X. So Darge, you're being accused of being a big-time influencer. I agree that you're responsible for this. How are you going to make it up to people?
Tell them to cancel it. what do you want me to do?
Job done. There you go.
I ain't going to fucking pay. I ain't going to pay you for it.
No. So, but yeah, that was a nice quick one. We just breezed through. Bungie are changing the name to Snickers. No, Tom. Ant's here as well, saying good evening to the AI, episode 13. Right, let's go for the first of our questions, please. And like I say, it's not too late to drop them in, so get them in there, because we have got time to talk about them.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think, yeah, get them in. First question, please, Isla. What's in your hand, Dodge?
Phone case.
Of course.
Phone case.
Okay, we've got Tony questions, so just brace yourself. What other games are you guys expecting to come to Game Pass now that Call of Duty has been confirmed day one? Any specific games that you would like to see, or maybe a remaster of it? Well, so Tony, that's a difficult one, because obviously we know that Microsoft's games are coming in, and if Call of Duty is coming in, then it's definitely a signal that everything they do is coming in, which is the expectation that they'd already set. They'd already told us that everything is coming in. There's still a bunch of old ones, all the old Call of Duty games and some Crash things and other nonsense like that from their acquisitions. I'm not sure if it is also going to signal less third-party games coming in. So this month, maybe even today, like somewhere around right now, Lords of the Fallen is going in there as a pretty big game, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if over time, now that Microsoft should in theory be ramping up their own kind of output, I'm not sure if that means that we'll be seeing less of the big third-party games in there. Is there anything that you particularly want to see drop in it, Darge?
I mean, I was just trying to think. I definitely forget one all the time. Obviously, when I did, no. So you got Avowed, which, I mean, again, we don't really go into the rumor side of things, but apparently that's been moved onto UE 5.3 or whatever. But apparently it's been a long running thing. It's been switched over for a while. That was rumored to be coming in the fall of this year. So that'll be coming, hopefully. Towerborn, I'm quite intrigued to play this Towerborn game. You know, I spoke to someone about it. I won't name them, but I spoke to someone about it, and they told me that, you know, the kind of gist of the game. It sounds quite fun. So there's Towerborn, and then obviously we don't want to go into the rumor kind of thing. I mean, obviously next week we'll probably do our predictions or our hopes and dreams for the showcases, you know, approaching. But so there's the rumor of like a Gears of War sort of collection sort of thing. Maybe if it's a thing. I mean, I still think they should do more third party deals anyway. You know what I mean? Like more day and date. Obviously, you got that Atlas game, Metaphor, Refantasio going in there. I mean, that'll probably...
That's not going in there. That's my mistake. You probably got that from me. I used to say that was going in there, but I don't think it is.
Is it exclusive then?
No.
Is it platform exclusive?
It has some marketing rights with Xbox. I don't think it's exclusive at all, but it's not going into Game Pass. It's just... no, I'm not sure, because I thought that it was, but then I checked back on all the trailers and stuff, and it's not.
So you've had a check, and it's not exclusive.
I just checked for the Game Pass thing, to be fair.
The game will be available, so it's available everywhere. Oh yeah, maybe they just had the marketing for the new IP then. Oh, okay,
it's one of those ones like that Square Enix one, the whatever it is of Mana one, Legends Trail.
No,
the new one,
Trails, Visions of Mana.
Visions of Mana, that's the one. But it's like it's a big deal in that they're willing to show that game as being associated with the Xbox platform, but it doesn't actually have any kind of exclusivity or Game Pass presence. It's just like, hey, we get this now and we never did before. This is like, hey, it's an Atlas game like Persona. You get these now and you never did before. So that is the big deal with that one, rather than not having to pay for it.
You can imagine they'll end up getting some sort of Square Enix. I know, like you said about this Visions of Mana, but you can imagine like when the next sort of big comes up, they'll probably be in a half decent position to at least just have the marketing for the game. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be exclusive. But yeah, like I say, listen, games for Xbox, I think they'll have a really good showcase. They'll have third-party stuff there, as far as I remember. Again, you could tell me I was wrong. I think, did they have Star Wars Outlaws? I think they
I
had
can't
Star Wars
remember.
Outlaws
Probably.
market. I think it was shown off at an Xbox showcase. Tell me if I'm wrong. They'll have a really good showcase this summer. And I just think, if you're a Game Pass fan and that, you should be demanding the fucking maximum out of them. You know what I mean? So try and get another. I know we say about Outriders, but a day and date third party. Oh, they've got thingy, haven't they, this year? What's the Capcom game? Path of the Goddess.
Oh,
Can't remember
yeah.
the Japanese name for it, but the Path of the Goddess. That's going in there. I think they'll be all right. I think the summer looks a little bit dry. That's why I could probably do with some sort of shadow drop, not shadow drops, but like games that get shown and then they go, oh, it's coming, at the end of the month. Like because it sort of stacks June and July out because they do look a bit thin.
It's funny for me when you look at like the games that they're going in and you say Lords of the Fallen was today or whenever it is, right? At the end of this month. To me, that's more enticing than Call of Duty at the end of the year. And it's like, it's not day one. It's a tiny fraction of the price. And I'm gonna play that. That's what makes the service really good for me. Call of Duty. I'm not complaining that they're going to chuck Call of Duty in there, but in terms of what they're spending on it, hopefully they still find value in the third-party ones. The problem is platform still needs to be able to support the ones that don't go in Game Pass. But
yeah, I think it's I think everything's going to be all right, mate.
I think it will as well.
With regards
Darge.
to
I'm not sweating
Lords,
the details.
Nah, with Lords of the Fallen as well. I think young Tom from the community, I think he's in the chat somewhere. I think that's a game for him. It's meant to be in a much better state than it launched, so it should be good going in Game Pass now. Go on, mate. What's the next one?
Yes, that's nice and clear. That's got to be clear enough for just about everyone. It's already there though. It's Gamsley. Why am I not in this round table? Last one with Darge was great. Gamsley, I already explained that one at the start of the show. I didn't know that Chris wasn't going to be here until we were already here. And to be fair, he wouldn't have been my first choice. I would have asked Luke to come on. That's no disrespect or no lack of love, Gamsley, but you got Thursday,
He's got Thursday, and we try and keep like big people on this show. Games they like tall people. You're a little fella. You just stay on the Thursday show. But yeah, he can come back on any time with me, mate. As long as he don't start arguing with me, because then it will just turn into a row. But yeah,
it'll happen. Don't you worry, Gamsley. You'll get plenty of chances to talk with Darge. Next question is from Flush Jackson. Why does Darge look so tired? Naps are good for you, Darge.
I've lived a wild life, Flush. It's took its toll on me, mate. So I just look tired all the time now, mate. Sorry about that. I'll try and do better next week.
To be fair, you are handling these better than you did last week. So it's water off a duck's back now. He's fine. You can't hurt Darge.
Yeah, I'm fine. Nah.
Danny Passion just put some eyes in. I don't know what to make of them. Don't know what to make of them, Danny.
I'll claim them. He's looking at me.
I reckon he probably is.
So I'm tired.
Yeah. Probably that. So the next one, if there are more, please. All right, the Gaming Crypt. So, hosts, do you think that you will play Shadow of the Erd Tree? You're going to, aren't you, Darge? You've got Elden Ring on your to stream soon list.
So, like I say, that's my mate. And it badgered me for the longest time, all the Souls games, everything. And then obviously some of the guys in our community, I fucked around with Elden Ring a couple of months ago on the Steam Deck. Yeah, I said to him, I spoke to him earlier and I said to him, I really like the premise of Souls-like games where you self-discover, you know what I mean? And you have to trial and error, and it's the determination and the drive, and this, that and the other. But I also know what I'm like. And I'm like, I said to him, if I'm just banging my head on the wall for 30 minutes on the same boss and getting anything, I'll just go fucking uninstall that. Because that'll end up giving me bad anxiety. So, yeah, Shadow. So I'm going to finish up God of War, doing the little streamy thing. And then I want to try and go Elden Ring back to back into Shadow of the Erd Tree, provided I don't just rage quit and fucking.
Did you try it? So did you do any of Elden Ring before?
So all I did was like literally, I got it like everything, right? I got it on day one, yeah, when it came out, because all the hype was there, like, oh, fucking Elden Ring's blowing up, right? And I think it was like, was this 60 quid on PC, or it might have been 50, I don't know, but I bought it on Steam Store. Yeah, so I bought it. Come on, Ryan, like sort of psyching myself up for it, like, okay, come on, we're gonna do this one, like that, and then just walked in there. Took one wrong turn and there was this big troll thing and he just went one bang smash. I was like, all right, don't go back in there. Went this other way and there was a lake and this big dragon swapped that, like just dropped down, flamed me up, and I was just like, tada, like just uninstalled it. Like, you know what I mean? I get it now. Like, obviously I've gone back and I've done a little bit. Like, I'm like level 20. Patrick, he's helped me like when I was doing it before. But like I said to Crypt and Raf, like I like the idea of the Souls-like games. Obviously, we know Erica, for example, she's a big Souls-like player. And I guess once you learn, once you get that buzz for it, you know what I mean? I can imagine it is really fucking rewarding, you know what I mean? I mean, that was another one, the Wolong game that went into Game Pass. Was it last year? It went in there, the Team Ninja game. Sort of making my way through that, thinking, oh, I've got this cracked like that. And then I got to this big fucking boss guy, and he was just slapping me about. I was like, Tama, I can't be grafting like, you know, like replicant's that guy, isn't he? You know, get good. Like he's beat Connor to that one. But I'll have a go. Listen, all I can do is have a go, you know. So yeah, we shall see what happens.
Thank you, Replicant, for that. But being a member for 10 months and using it to tell Darge to get good. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. At least I'm not tired, though. I can take them. I can take them all day long, not the tired ones.
I haven't finished Elden Ring either. I should have done. I played it like a good bunch and probably about halfway through it. So I reckon I probably have to finish it before I consider the Erd Tree stuff. But I'm not in a desperate hurry to. It's just it's been there on my backlog for over a year now, and it will remain there for a little while longer because I kind of want to do Sekiro first. Gamsley with another super chat. Did you get your invite for tea and or coffee? Did I get your invite for tea or coffee? No, Gamsley. I've not seen any such thing. If that's aimed at me, Darge, did Gamsley invite you for tea or coffee?
No, Gamsley just likes to remind me that apparently Xbox are going to be on top in 5 years. That's the only conversations we have these days. Is that's pretty much it. You don't even ask how I am anymore.
I've seen that one on loop. I have, I must admit. Yeah, no, Gamsley. We'll take your invitation, though. We'll come to Canada one day, right? Let's do the next question. Oh, it's already there. The General C, so Connor's asked, what are you snacking on if you are snacking while gaming? Darge, do you snack and game?
I know. I can set about a packet of biscuits proper. Like, you give me a packet of biscuits, I'll smash the life out of them. But usually, like, yeah, not really. Don't really feel I'm a snacker. You know what I mean? I'm more biscuit and a cup of tea geezer. You know what I mean? I'm getting a bit old now. So biscuit,
that
cup
counts
of
as
tea,
a snack.
and yeah, but with the cup of tea, so you justify it. It's not like you're just going to go, oh, do you know what? I think I'm going to go for a pack of biscuits without dunking it. You know what I mean? So it's justified snacking. That's the way I look at it. You know. What about you? What are you snacking on?
I almost never eat food while I'm gaming. Sometimes I eat food, but for gaming, I'm really particular about not getting like food mess on my controllers, greasy fingers and whatever.
Yeah, ACG's a bit like that as well. He says about that. Like, he don't, when he goes to eat some like crisps or chips or whatever, he'll fully go away out the room and wash up and everything because he don't like all the greasy, dusty fucking prints everywhere. So I get that.
It's like a haunting thing from like teenage years where you go to someone's house and use their controller and you pick it up and be like, oh, doesn't feel nice. Don't want my controllers to be like, oh, that doesn't feel nice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So yeah, I don't really snack, and if I did, I'd probably be a right state by now, Connor, because I game quite a lot.
Game?
So.
Oh, game.
Game.
I thought you said game. I was going to go fucking turn it in. Nice
so there we
athlete
go.
like yourself.
So Games is told Alan not to put a question up because he was just bugging. So let's see what that one is. No, let's have the next question, please. And what about all of you that are here? Do you snack while you game? What's the go-to? Doritos is the by reputation the one you're supposed to have in it, but that'll be cheesy dust all over the controller. What's it?
Cheesy dust.
Cygnus has asked, I'm probably saying that wrong, but how likely are we getting a PlayStation show this week? You're gonna have to ask Jeff Grubb. I don't know. There's not much of the week left, is there?
I would say about as likely as I am having a ponytail at the end of the week. So make of that what you will. Cygnus.
It's not like that unusual for them to come out and say we've got a state of play tomorrow.
Well, no, they don't. It's usually a week, isn't it? Usually they give about a week's notice. They go like, "Oh, join us on." Yeah, they won't go join us tomorrow. Like they'll let the fans whip up and all that. Like, you know what I mean? So it'd be fucking dumb to go. Oh, even Silent Hill 2 are doing it. They're giving it like 5-6 days notice. Got to let the momentum build, the word spread. If you're anything like Xbox, you'll let like social media market everything for you, so the world knows about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, usually they do it. But what they usually do of late, since they stopped doing their showcases, usually they go before. You know what I mean? So they'll usually get their shit out before. So, I mean, really, even if you take away the night, like Xbox go on the 9th of June, and I think the Summer Games Fest is the 6th. I think 6th for the 7th, something like that. Anyway. So they've really only got a week. They need to be announcing it kind of now. If not, it's going to go after. You know, I would have thought so.
But just so we're clear, it's you're not likely to have a ponytail by the end of this week. Okay, very clear, clear.
Not unless something magical happens when I go to bed. The hair fairy comes to see me.
Right, let's have the next one, please, if there are more. Tense. I'm not sure there are. General C has asked, movies and TV shows segment when? Oh, that's a good question, Connor. That is a good question. I don't think I watch enough TV to be able to carry a segment like that. Do you watch much, Darge?
No.
Does Chris? Do you know? Is he a TV person?
He does watch some, a bit. He gets a little bit. He's done Shogun.
Yeah.
He's probably done other gear like stuff as well that I can't even think about at a minute. But yeah, I don't, to be fair, Fallout, I watched the first episode of Fallout and was like, that was really good. And then I haven't watched the second one. So I have a small amount of time anyway. I'd rather be playing games personally than watching films and stuff. If it's a big one, like the Joker, the sequel, obviously I really like the first film. When the sequel comes out, I think in October or whenever that is, I will go to the cinema, you know, and see that. But not a massive film and TV geezer.
Sorry, Connor, the best place for it, if you want to know more of the less gaming focused stuff that we're going to talk about, best place for that is just the Discord, right? Like, you can do podcasts that have it, and it's fine, and some people love that. We'll probably stick to more of the gaming stuff on there, and if you want to get to know us more intimately, you know, over on the Discord.
Yeah. Fire pictures and everything in there, Con. Also, Connor is right. He said I should have been saying Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball I watch on my commute to work. It's not an evening. I don't ever watch it of an evening, so I'll fit that in around commuting. You know what I mean? But yeah, Dragon Ball's a bollocks. But that's it.
Are you still on that most days?
Nah, I ain't watched it. I ain't watched it for a bit now. I'm up to the old trying to resurrect the old Majin Buu effort. You know what I mean? So I'm nearly there, mate. I'm nearly there.
All right, next question, please. Flashing through them because we're a little bit short on the show, so we might as well do them all. Eh? Stephen Southwick, with Xbox and PlayStation putting their games on PC, are console exclusives really that important? If first-party games went to the other platforms 6 months to a year after release, why would that be bad?
Yeah, they're still important now, aren't they? Excuse me. Console exclusives will be important because there'll still be like, you know, if they're putting it, like at the end of the day, if you think about it, like they're putting their games on PC because it's another avenue for revenue, like where they can make money. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean, oh, actually, we're just going to fully go this way. It's like we're just going to branch over there as well, yeah, and take some of that money whilst we're still here, you know. So you still need to compete in that way. You know what I mean? And I know Xbox are doing some whole next thing now where they're like, oh, do you know what? We got our games. Let's fucking give them over there because they're kind of driven by the revenue side of things. But yeah, there's still, you know, exclusive content is still important. You know, like I'm here now, you know, thinking Silent Hill. I mean, Luke told me Silent Hill 2 remake, and I'm like, is that just console exclusive or is that going day one to the PC as well? Like, because obviously I know it's PS5 only. And he was like, no, it is going to PC as well. And I'm like, sweet. So there is definitely still market for, you know, exclusivity like that. But I just think, yeah, console platform holders, get all your games over to the PC, get all the money you can get, and then you can battle between the plastic boxes. You know what I mean?
So I would say on that as well, like there is the plastic box side of things, but beyond that, platform exclusives are really, really important because all of the platforms still want to get all of that third-party money for the games that they don't make, and the games that aren't exclusive, they want all of their share of the V-Bucks and all of that stuff. And if you want a signal of how important exclusives like actually are for a platform, so look at how desperately Epic are still doing them. They're not exclusive in that they're on their PC. It's not even a hardware exclusive. And if you put a game exclusively on the Epic storefront, they don't take any of the revenue for the first like 12 months of that game. So they pay providers to put a game on the platform, and they don't take any money off like that game actually selling on their platform, because that is how important it is to have exclusives to get people onto the platform in the first place. So yeah, they do still have a lot of weight and a lot of impact. In terms of like these delayed putting them on other platforms and all that, though, I absolutely agree that there's no particular harm, and hopefully we'll see more of it. Because I like games being available wherever I want to play them. So yeah. So have the next one, please. That's my chair is drastically uncomfortable. There are many things that I need to upgrade in the studio. Please throw super chats out so that I can upgrade my chair and my earphones.
And my hair.
Don't actually.
I'll take some hair transplant.
Darge,
yes,
you bought a £700 camera. You can get your own hair sorted out.
Why are you putting my value business on the streets like that? It was in the sale, actually. But go on.
Was it? Good. Nicely done. Yeah. Nicely done.
Come on.
Do we have any more questions? He does want that ponytail, so yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't consider that an actual begging for super chats. You know, never would try and push and insist on them. So Brian Scully has asked, all right fellas, just finished Jedi Survivor and Hellblade 2. What do you recommend on Game Pass right now? Go play Lords of the Fallen, Brian Scully, and it's not a recommendation based on me having played it, because I have not. But it's a big game and it's just dropped in, and Immortals of Avium is a big game and it's just dropped in, and there's a weird alien theme hospital game that I quite want to play as well, and I can't remember what it's called. Darge.
Hospital, I reckon. Yeah, Lords of the Fallen's a good. I mean, I haven't played it, but you know, if you like a Souls-like game, that's a good one. It depends, like, well, you know, what else you've played. I'm looking at it now. Obviously, Remnant 2 is there. That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads. There's quite a bit in there, you know what I mean? I just don't know what. Just go with Lords of the Fallen, mate, because that's a new edition service for you. And if it ain't for you, come back next week and ask again, and I'll have another option for you, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't play that fucking shit. What was that game I played recently and beat? At Kona 2, wasn't it? Kona 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't play that. Don't play that unless you've got absolutely nothing else in the world to play and there's no painted walls for you to watch dry. Play that by all means. So, yeah, that's my non-Game Pass recommendation for the week, everyone. All right?
Mm-hmm. Geezer, I've played a bit of Harold Halliburton. I haven't finished it, actually. I got 2 or 3 hours into it. Very, very dry. But yeah, by all means, if you want to go and play that, go and play that. If you're not sure about Immortals of Avium, there's a review on the channel that's very nice on that game as well. So you can see what that's all about. Next question, please. Okay, Gamsley, we've been over this. Gamsley. Gamsley's asking why he's not on this show. Gamsley?
How many times
Stop.
have you got to tell someone it's so short?
Right, next one is Chronic. Do any of the community have any good recommendations for community night games that allow for 10 plus players? That is a good question, Chronic. This isn't for me and Darge. This is for everybody that's here. We're always looking for more games to add to the Saturday and Sunday community ones. The criteria that we look for is games that are quite easy to drop in and out of, ideally cross-platform and easy for people to get. So we've got like the various Forza games, Halo. We've got a bit of Fall Guys in there, things like that people can just download and jump in and play on whatever platform they're using are perfect. So if anybody has any good examples, please do yell them, because I would love to expand the repertoire, because I freaking hate Forza. I don't hate it, but 33 Immortals is definitely going to get... we're definitely going to try it, Patrick, and see how the format runs for whether we can get people in there and playing it. That could end up being a regular one, or it could be that it's just too convoluted to run it through. We'll see how it is when it drops. And yeah, episode 13, Call of Duty. As soon as that is in Game Pass, I'm going to be forced to play it. I've said before that I can't play Call of Duty games. I can't deal with that at all. But, you know, it's not about me, is it? It's a community game, and I'll play the things that people want to play. So we will do it. Jokes on you, I already have it. I don't know what I already has, but okay. Oh, what, 33 Immortals? I don't know. Let's have the next question, please. There's a beta for it or something, or like an opt-in trial thing. I didn't opt in. Figured I'll save, like every other game, save it when it comes out and when everyone's playing it at once.
Patrick saying he'll make some time for non-Forza games. I mean, you don't even make any time anymore as it is, Patrick. You know, don't give me false promises, bro.
Patrick did play Halo with us. He's there. He'll be there for it.
Oh, yeah, true. That's a late one, actually.
Yeah. Right. Gamsley, what game narrative would you like told in the Hellblade 2 format? No. I don't want the Hellblade 2 format to be particularly like broadly adopted or shared across other games. It's very suited to what Hellblade does.
Unique.
But beyond, yeah, I'm not sure if I want many elements of it. Elements that I do want picked and carried across to other games are stuff like not having a HUD. I love games that don't have loads of like interface clutter. A lot of the camera work, a lot of the presentation, I guess, but not the Hellblade 2 format. The Hellblade 2 format, as soon as you say that, I'm just thinking of like games where you have to walk an awful lot. No, keep that for Hellblade.
I would say Crash Bandicoot in the Hellblade 2 format. I'd like to see that.
I hate Crash Bandicoot, so why not? I hate the strong really word, but I'm not a fan of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, just a dark, gritty Crash story in the outback of Australia during a torrential rain season. Yeah,
ideally, like the last days of his life, Crash dying.
Yeah,
cold and morbid,
washed up Crash.
Cinematic.
Literally crashed out on life. Yeah, that's a good pitch. That I might text Neil Druckmann. He might go for that. Have we got any more?
I see people saying Wreckfest is a community suggestion. Wreckfest comes up again and again and again, except it's not cross-platform, which is really awkward. So we can arrange some Wreckfest, but it excludes.
Dirt 5, or is that shit?
Dirt 5's not a bad shout. I think that is cross-platform. Yeah, we can do some other kinds of racing games than that, but just need to try and include as many people as we can, and they're split across the consoles and PC at the moment, so cross-platform helps an awful lot. Ketchup or brown sauce on breakfast, but this is Tom, and it's brown sauce for breakfast. Everyone knows that. Come on.
Yeah, I don't usually have anything, but if I was on the rare occasion, it'd be brown all day long. And never red sauce. I can't even stand red sauce. I fucking hate it. But that's just me, you know. It's not all about me. So yeah, brown sauce.
Oh no, Patrick. Yeah. We're getting all the food questions now. So this is General C. Chicken or beef? Chicken
all day. Protein enriched don't know.
Well,
That red
yeah.
meat's quite good as well.
I'm definitely
I'll go
inclined to eat more chicken,
'cause
but not because it's better.
yeah, chicken,
It's healthier.
Nando's, KFC.
Oh, yeah, we need to do that, don't we? Nando's, we've been
Yeah, we
threatening
do
Nando's for
need to
like
Nando's.
half a
Been
decade.
threatening Nando. I know. Fucking worse than me dad, you. Your empty promises.
Harsh. You know full well that you rejected me when I was ready to go there.
I know, and then I got a driving ban, and you fucking
and then-
started digging me out about that one. so yeah, no, it's good. We'll do it. We'll sort it.
I kind of said good man. I'm not sure what that's specifically referring to. He says it's not meant to be a question, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
take it anyway.
And that's it. That's all the questions done. So, which I think is fine. So we've done today, everyone. So thank you for coming along and supporting us and listening to us talk about it on a relatively light week. But we got through and had some good conversations, I hope. Darge, tell everyone what you're up to for the week coming and where they can find you.
I am. So now, right. So you can find me on Twitter or X at Darge Knight. You can find me on YouTube at Darge Knight, or the Darge Knight, rather. You can find me on the rooftops of London town. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Basically, that's all you can find me doing until I'm back here next week, hopefully with my other brother with us as well. And hopefully it'll be a good show next week. Got show predictions. We're just about to go into that crazy summertime. So yeah, that's it. But thanks a lot, Asa. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being here. Like I say, Asa said it before, Discord is vibing over there. So if you want to get involved with a growing community over there, consider a membership. I mean, you can just click the link, come over as a guest, just have a little look around, see what's what. But yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I will see you next week.
Yeah, I'm going to do that as well. Also, because we're finishing so early, I might even jump on the old stream in about 20-25 minutes time, do a little bit of don't know what game, but maybe something. Isla's just put the link in the chat there, so if you want to subscribe over there for it's just live games over there and nothing else. It's not a channel that's going to have video content or anything like that, just a dumping ground for playing games with people. And I'll be here tomorrow for Q&A. So I'm also on ACG's podcast over on that channel tomorrow, 6:30 UK time. So I think that's 10:30 Pacific or whatever it is. So if you want to be over there, then be over there because they do a good show. And then Thursday we'll have the Xbox Series podcast here. I'm doing Q&A after as well. Yes, tomorrow is going to be a lot of sitting on this terribly uncomfortable chair. Pray for my ass, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.